Hi, I'm happy to come your way again with today's tutorial video. This is a millinery video. We are going to learn how to do this beautiful piece. At the moment, I have a design in my head, so I'm going to bring the design out as I carry on recording this video. Hopefully, we're going to come out with a beautiful project in the end. All right, if you're watching me for the first time, I would like to say a massive thank you for being an ardent viewer of this channel. It keeps us going. Your views keeps us going. I will endeavor that you subscribe if you've not subscribed yet, and hit the notification bell just so that you'll be notified when a new video is uploaded. As usual, we do multiple projects on this channel, so I believe you stand to benefit a whole lot if you subscribe to this craft channel. We currently have opportunity for people to become members of this channel if they want to, and this comes with perks. If you look on the bottom right hand corner of the video, you would see there's a button that says join. When you click on that button, it will take you to the bit where you can register and become a member of this channel. There's another button that is called super, and that allows you to contribute to this video if you like it. All of these helps us buy materials for tutorial videos. You realize that for some time I've not been posting too much on tutorial videos is because we've run short on our materials, but there are a lot of ideas we'd like to bring out to you if we had all the materials for it. So we'll be excited for you to support the growth of this channel in whichever way possible. Please share our videos as well with your friends and family so that we can grow this community, and together we will have a great time on this channel. So today's video, like I said, I'm going to be creating out of my head. So I have a few things on my table today and I'm going to talk to you about it. But as I carry on, if I think that a few more things that I need to add, I'll be bringing it on board. So obviously you're going to need your cinnamon, also going to need some sizing, and for me, I'm going to be using my PVA glue. You need your blocking pins. Today I'm going to show you a new thing I learned from one of my students, and I think it really helps with regards to the steaming or shaping of your cinnamon. You're also going to be needing your millinery wire, your needle and your thread, your cutting edge, and you're also going to need your tape measure as well, just for measuring your cinnamon. You would need either a clip or an Alice band, depending on how you want to mount your headpiece. Basically, these are the main materials you're using for the project. So let's get on with it. You can see that I've gone ahead to carve the cinnamon on top of the shape I'm looking for. So I'm looking for that carved shape. So I'm going to be using the dome today. And this is a piece of cinnamon I have. So it's a remnant cinnamon I have. I don't want it to go to waste. I want to put it to use. For that reason, I'm just going to be using a layer of cinnamon. So it has been laid on the bias. And I'm going to show you in a minute what I mean by the easiest way of shaping your cinnamon on a mold. All right, so I'm going to take the pins out just so that I'll be able to demonstrate exactly what I have done here. I'm going to be laying over this single layer with my feathers, and I believe that'll be enough layer going on top of it. So this is what you do. You're going to grab your steam iron, and then we're going to use the steam from the steam iron to shape the cinnamon on the block. All right, so what I'm going to be doing is to be pressing my steam button here. If you can see, to be pressing the steam button here, and you see and hear the settle. So as you do this, because basically it is steam that we need to shape the heart, okay? So as you do that, you realize that it is shaping your heart beautifully around your block, and then you quickly put your pins in there. So this is by courtesy of Lisa, who had joined Skilled Hands briefly. It's her invention, and I find it really helpful. So I'm excited to share this with you. So we had run short of steamers, and instead of waiting for somebody to finish before it gets to her turn, she decided to use a steam iron, and it looks to be working perfectly, and that's why I'm excited to share it with you as well. You can do this when you don't have a steamer. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and beautifully carve this shape out and get back to you. All right, so this has been beautifully blocked. Now let me point out something to you. As you're using the steam iron, remember it's on constant heat, so you have to move your hands as quickly as possible. The moment you stay in one place for a long time, you are going to damage your polystyrene mold, okay? And we don't want that, so we quickly move it round just to get the steam go over the shape we want, and that basically will be it. So I have also mixed my size, and from what you know, the size is 1 part PVA glue by 2 or 3 parts water. So 1:2 or 1:3, depending on how thick you want your size to be. I have gone for 1:3 because I don't want it that much. Okay, so I'm just going to go over the bit where I want to stiffen out my shape, and then would also dry it out as well with my hand dryer, and then we take it from there. So I'm going to go all over this bit here, and then in between the pins, my blocking pins, because remember, even though I want this shape, we're going to have to extend it so that we can place millinery wire on the edge over there. Okay, so I'm going to go in between the pins and make sure that I'm extending my size to the ends, and then we take it from there. Right, so I have finished drying my cinnamon on my mold. I want to cut exactly the size of my millinery wire, and I've grabbed my flexible wire to help me do that. So as I go around the shape I'm looking for, I think that is 17 inches, and I'm going to add extra 2 inches to it, that to make it 19 inches in total. All right, so I'm going to be overlapping it here and here. Wow, so it's coming out perfectly just the way I wanted it. I've missed a few steps for the sake of not making a longer video, but I'm going to talk to you about it, what I have done. So I'm going to be putting a link in this video to show you a few of the steps I've missed here, but I've done in other videos, just so that you can refer to it. What I have done is you cut your memory wire, overlap it at 2 inches, and get cotton thread, put it on the double, and then you're going to use it to wrap around the joining. So you can see it here, just wrap it around it, and when you're done you just make a knot. So you wrap it around, you start wrapping from about 1 centimeter away from the edge. So you start about here, wrap it round towards the end. So from 1 centimeter away, wrap it towards the end, bring it back in here and come back in 1 centimeter away from the end here, and make a knot. All right, when you finish, you're going to be placing your memory wire around the edge where you want your cinnamon base to be, and for me this is where I wanted it to be, so that is what I have the concave shape I'm looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and go on with my stitching, and I'm going to be demonstrating briefly how to stitch this particular one. But if you want a full version of stitching of your cinnamon and your millinery wire, you can also see it in other videos I'll be linking. So this is the thread I'm using to do my stitching. Is a nylon thread or the fisherman's thread, whatever you want to call it. It is a 0.25 millimeter in size thread, and I'm using a normal needle to stitch it, and my thread is on a double. What I mean by is on a double is I've had to put it together and I've made a knot to secure it at the end. All right, so I'm going to go in. You always start your stitching from the wrong side of your cinnamon base. So I'm going to go in, and I'm doing what you would call the overcast stitch. All right, so I'm going to go in, and then I'm going to bring my needle back through my knot. I'm bringing it back through my knot to secure my first stitch, and I'm going to carry on from there. This bit is getting my way. I'm going to just take it out. So what I'm doing is to put my longer stitches in. You can do an overcast stitch, whichever way you prefer, but I am just going to be doing what I call the slip stitch. So put my longer stitches in and my shorter stitches out. If you can't see it properly in this video because of the color of my cinnamon, you can refer to a few of our previous videos which might show properly. But basically you can see that from here to here is where my needle is going in, and from the inside, that is where my longer stitches will stay. All right, and then from the back is just a very short stitch, just because we don't want the all our rough work to be showing on the right side. So I'm going to go away, carry on with my stitching, and then bring it back to you. All right, so stitching done. It's just the way I wanted it. It's just it's So it's just the way I wanted it. I've got the concave shape I'm looking for. What I'm left to do now is to do my edging. So I'm going to bring the remnant of my cinnamon, and I'm going to be cutting at 2 inches from the edge to do the strip, and then we take it from there. All right, hopefully it will be able to go around the edge when it's done, hopefully, because these are remnants, I don't have too many of it. Okay, so when you cut the strip, you're going to put it into 2 equal halves, just like I'm doing. When you've done that, then you open it and fold it into another half, okay, to meet in the center, not directly in the center. And then you fold this other half as well to meet in the center. Now when you've done this, you realize that this strip is very rigid and we need it to go around this shape. So what you're going to do is the bit that is open is going to be facing towards you, and then you're going to pull and bend. All right, so I'm going to pull and bend. I'm doing it at the same time as I do it to make my strip look curved, and then when I finish, I'll put an iron to it before we stitch it around the edge, and you can see the effect it's having on the strip now, and that is exactly what we're looking for. Okay, so this will make it easier for us to go around the edge with it. I'm probably going to go in a little bit more just so that I can have enough length for it to go around my shape some more. All right, so my edge is properly done and pressed. I'm going to just open it up, and then I'm going to slide this bit here into it, and then we do our stitching from there. Okay, yeah, I'm very sure it's going to be enough to go around the edge. So what I'm going to do now is to start stitching from inside out, like I've done previously, but I'm not going to be pulling my thread to the very end. Okay, I'm going to bring it back in and then put it through my knot to secure my first stitch, and then we carry on stitching in the same manner. So I'm going to be stitching at about 1 centimeter interval. Okay, the longest stitches staying in, my shorter stitches staying out. Okay, I'm going to carry on another about 1 centimeter stitch going in. I'm trying to catch it at the edge as much as possible. So I'm going to carry on stitching the whole bit round and bring it back to you. All right, now let's try and end it. So I've stitched up to this bit. I'm left here to stitch. What I'm going to do is open it up and fold it on top of each other, just so that we secure that edge over there. All right, and then we're going to place it on top of this and finish it off beautifully. Now the essence of for today's tutorial is to see if we could be able to do blocking with just 1 cinnamon instead of 2 layers, and we've been able to do that beautifully. I like the way it's turned out, and I believe that the project I have in mind is going to come out beautifully. So I'm going to carry on stitching to the end, and then we take it on from there to the next stage. So the next stage is to lay all the feathers onto it in one direction. So we're going to go this way till we are done with laying all the feathers, and we're going to make sure that we're going to cover the base of the cinnamon so that it is not seeping through. So I'm going to go ahead, grab my glue, and go lay it all the way around. I'm going to do that with my hot glue gun, and then we take it from there. All right, so what I'm going to do is to mount it on an Alice band. I told you that I was going to be creating as I get along. So I'm going to mount it on an Alice band, and then before we put the feathers onto it, I'm thinking that will be much easier to do than to just use a clip. Basically, I'm not going to be wrapping my Alice band. I'm going to leave it just as it is, and I believe because it is black, it's going to match with it. So I've figured out exactly where my Alice band is going to be, and that is about here. So I'm going to grab my needle and thread, and then I'm going to do the cross stitch over here. Now you can do that with me. I grabbed a matching thread. I'm going to put it on a double and then we take it from there. Now this is what I have. I'm going to be covering the whole base with the feathers. And the next thing I'm going to do now is to get some glue onto this felt and stick this onto it. That is going to be the bit, the center bit where we're going to start covering the base from. Okay, so I'm going to get some glue and try and fix it onto the center part where all our feathers are going to be attaching from, because I'll need a base here to be sticking my thing on. I have my glue gun in and it's heating up. I'm going to wait a while for it to finish heating up. Now I believe when I put the glue on it, it's going to stick the whole bit for me anyway. So I'm going to just go wait for my glue to heat up, and then we start going from there, sticking all the feathers onto it in one direction. I want it to be going in this direction, laying flat. So I'm going to be laying it. If I think I need to put it in the direction I want it to go, I'll use my scissors to give it that curve as I go ahead, but we'll be sticking everything from that direction. I think I should go ahead whilst we wait for the glue to heat up to start putting my, I'm going to put in my feathers in that curve direction, even though most of them come looking that way. I guess I'm going to have to try and give it some direction as well. I want to place my bigger ones first, and then we can always lay up the smaller ones on top of it. I think we're getting there now. I'll have to work very fast because, as we all know, this particular glue dries up quite quickly. So we may be putting more feathers on as we go ahead. Feather work is always really nice when you're done with it, but when you're in the process it gets quite messy. So just be patient. If you've done any work with feathers, like, you would agree with me what I'm saying. Lap it there with another feather, and then we take it from there. At this point I'm going to have to go off screen to finish off the layering, but I believe at least you have an idea of where we are going with this. So I'm going to go in that direction and then finish it here and come back and show you the end result. Just to capture where we are now with the feathers before we carry on. Now you see that when you curl the feathers a little bit at the edges, it actually does makes a lot of difference. I like what I'm seeing here, and I'm going to keep building it up and then putting some curly ones at the bottom just to give it that effect I'm looking for. Right, so this is what I have, and I think I'm loving it. I'm going to trim my peacock feathers and then use it as embellishment for the top bit, and then we are done. Okay, so this is it. I'm just going to put a dollop of glue here in the center where we have been working, and then I'm going to stick the rest of my embellishments there. All right, I'm bringing, I presume this is where I want it to be, and on top of that I'm going to bring one of my gemstones. To keep it in place, and then bring another one as well. I guess just these two should be enough. I'm loving the creation, really love it. At this point, we've come to the end of today's creation. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe if you've not done that already. Don't also forget to subscribe as a member to help support the growth of this channel. Until we meet again, have a brilliant day.